What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and here we are talking about the Gotham Knights previews for the day. There was stuff really that came out throughout. It was almost like multiple stages. This morning, you got kind of the written previews, some of the videos, and as the day went on, there was obviously videos in the beginning, but there was a lot. Today was a gigantic day, really, for maybe new information. I mean, really, it was new looks, right? We got to see a little bit more of Robin. I have looked at like the Robin gameplay videos. They confirmed photo mode through some of the people doing it. We got an image of Batman in kind of like a video training, tape that he gave the Knights. I mean, today was a huge day from just seeing a lot of things. And then, of course, there was the opinions of people, the opinions of these preview people. They were able to play it, and they kind of were all over the all over the board. I don't necessarily know if that's true, right? You guys can obviously say what you think in the comments, but to me, it felt like it was all pretty okay, like nothing too spectacular. The ones that were like the most positive that I at least read didn't really like say anything about what they, it wasn't very detailed. I think the PlayStation blog was one of the most kind out of all of the previews that I had seen to it. But their descriptions of like what they did and really anything like that, it was not very good at all. But you also didn't have anybody say like outright like this game is complete garbage. Now, as we talked about, that was probably not going to happen anyway, right? You're not going to have people, even if the game is bad, you're not going to have people just outright saying the worst things on planet Earth about it, just because that's not how it works. We saw that with Saints Row. I mentioned that in the video earlier. People are very kind, or they're forgiving is probably the right word when it comes to previews. Even when it came to Saints Row, I watched previews from like ACG, who's pretty ruthless, and Skill Up, who I think tells it kind of how it is as well. And those two were like dancing on on eggshell, or whatever the phrase would be. They were on a tightrope that they just did not say anything about Saints Row. They were afraid to toe that line. And would you know it, the game came out, and it was the game that Saints Row is. So I actually haven't watched Skill Up. I know Skill Up took his video down. I didn't see if he put it back up, or I didn't watch it yet. But how's everybody doing? Welcome in, and this is kind of what we're going to be doing for the next hour or so, depending on how the stream goes. You guys will be the judge of how long the stream goes. I probably have to go in like an hour and a half max, hour 45. But we can talk about whatever you want from the previews that we saw. But things are looking relatively solid. I know people told me to watch the Robin gameplay. At least the Robin gameplay I saw didn't make him seem as good as I thought, although he does still look pretty solid. He's still my number 2. Batgirl, from what I've seen today, from what I saw months ago, years ago, right? Batgirl is still kind of who I want to play as. But yeah, how's everybody feeling about it? Best game ever, totally. What are your opinions on today's previews? Well, there you go. Opinions. That's okay. I just read it as opinions. Well, I just gave you them, but obviously we're going to go back into it. I honestly mainly saw positives. Very good. Are you going to watch the Need for Speed video tomorrow? I am. I will. I'll probably do a video. This game is going to fail. A little negative to counter the positives. I like it. Dark Nightmare, what's up? I watched many videos, and they were very positive with a few nitpicks here and there. Philip, what's going on? Nick, it looks like Avengers, but worse. Skill Up reposted it. Yeah. Well, I figured he reposted it. People talk blank about Skill Up from what I've heard. I've always kind of respected him. I haven't really watched him for the longest of time. I didn't watch him when he did the Division content back in the day. But, yeah. My opinion, the most kind preview was Caboose. He is fanboying so hard. He said that Robin teleportation is iffy. Oh, no. Did he really? Okay, so I'm not going to go like trashing other people unless they're like absolutely gigantic and I don't like them. Caboose, I have literally no opinion on. Obviously, he's into the comic book, like the superhero genre. So fanboy-like, sure. I will say, I did not know that. That is honestly terrifying because who did I watch? I think it was IGN that mentioned the 4 of their abilities. And they didn't say anything negative, but they also said it for like 5 seconds. They said like, Batgirl's gliding, and you got to see it just a little bit. They talked about each of the 4, but it was literally like 5 seconds. And they didn't say anything negative about it. I really wanted to find somebody that talked about Robin's thing, and I didn't see anybody. So for Caboose to say that, and if you're, I'm not saying biasness or whatever, but if he's obviously very, very positive, and then he was, maybe overly positive, but he still thought that was not great. That's the thing with Robin is I said this with Video Game Fight School or VG Fight School. I talked about this with a lot of different people, where Robin I think is very under the radar, maybe the best character. I would say from like an acting perspective, I've always maybe liked him the most of the four from like the voice acting, but then from the just basic gameplay, he's always seemed to be very, very cool, but we just haven't seen, a lot of him. And then the teleportation, that again, I've never been a fan. I have never been a fan of the teleportation. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to feel. And that's the thing. But yet again, I think it's on a video that's not up yet. I mean, you don't have to do those abilities, granted, right? It's a fair counter argument if you say, well, Alex, you never have to do the teleportation if you don't want. That's true. But if they're in the game from getting from point A to point B, like, easier, and you're supposed to use them, and I really don't like Robins, then that's probably going to hurt my overall opinion of playing as him, and maybe I would play as him less, but I don't know. Make sure, you guys, if you do like this video, both now and, if you're watching it later on replay, make sure to just leave a quick like. Helps the video out, live stream or otherwise, but would be much appreciative. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter, my second channel, all that good stuff. Patreon, YouTube memberships. Got a lot of cool stuff coming. I can't wait to play Batgirl. Yeah, Batgirl continues to look really solid. I think one of the main things that I noticed, and it's something that I think some people have latched onto more than others, and more than me, the idea that in this game you're really going to be able to make these knights how you want them to be. Like, there's more than one way of going down a knight path. I never really, not necessarily cared, but thought about too much. These previews kind of changed my mind, because that was one of the main things in any preview I watched that they all really stressed was, like, Batgirl, you could play her as like a hacking kind of like technology thing. You can main her as just a one-man wrecking squad that just goes in there and is able to face enemies. Like, you can take them, and that's what the skill trees are, right? I think there's 3 different paths for each of them. But if you do that, and remember, I believe you're not going to be able to unlock all the skills. So you will be able to go through one whole tree, but maybe not all of the other 2. That is cool. And honestly, again, it's something I haven't really focused on ever. Because I just kind of feel like that will be more like a flow thing. Like, I'll play the game and I'll just kind of feel that, where it's like, yeah, my Batgirl is kind of aggressive. Like, I really like to just go in there and fight. But maybe you are like Robin, right? You can use him almost completely as a stealth kind of class. I've never really focused on talking about that all that much, but it definitely seems like that's very important. Like, that's one of the most important aspects of this entire game is that, because everybody said something about it. So that is important to realize. Jeff, what's going on, buddy? Still can't believe Horizon going to get a remaster. Me neither. Better than a remake, though. So what happens if this game does fail? Do they go back to Batman? Well, they're doing the second game, so whatever the second game is, that will be, Caboose did say he tried his hardest not to be biased. Yeah. I don't watch his. I mean, I have nothing against the guy. To my knowledge, he's never said anything about me. He's so much bigger anyway, so. It's good to see people like him, though, get the preview, So, yeah, I'm glad he got it. Let's see. Batgirl's gliding looks amazing. It does. Batgirl has always, again, to me, stood out. I think the game will be good. Nothing like wow, but still good and fun. Yeah, that's what I think too. He said what you said. He said it slowed down the gameplay. Wow, we're on the same page. Maybe he secretly watches. No, we're on the same page. I think because the whole idea of the movement of any of these knights is it is very fluid, and I think Robin having to stop and start constantly with the teleporting, I just can't imagine how that actually works well. And it's never been shown to me that it works well. So that's just what I've always thought. Jay's Shock Blast and Uncaged. Yeah. I'll have to watch them. I saw Jay Shock Blast posted it. I didn't watch his video. Feel the players who play the characters of Arkham Knights are bad? I don't know what that means. I'm pretty sure they said the character traversals are mainly something unlocked through the skill tree, and that's not necessary to have it. Right. It's something you unlock, so yeah. And it's a fair point. It's a fair point that you don't necessarily need to do it. Robbie, what's up? I like your character in Cobra Kai quite a bit. Plus, all the knights can still use the bat cycle. Yeah, I saw one. I saw one preview that criticized the bat cycle. But the rest I think liked it. So I don't know if you guys have seen something similar. I don't know if you guys saw if people like it or not. But it's always looked fine to me. I thought I was subscribed. LOL. We'll fix that now, Alex. Well, thank you. Another subscriber. Nightwing. I'm going to play as Red Hood. Batgirl. Nice. Still believe Batman is hypnotized by the Court of Owls. Yeah. How much do you guys think Batman will be in it? Now that we, again, like for me, it was always a theory. I had always said, I think he's going to be, okay, beyond the fact that he could be alive or dead, whatever, right? I've always said one way you can introduce him into the story is by having kind of, and I've said flashback training scenes with him. And then literally there's flashback tape training scenes with him. So I was pretty close. I was like right there. Now I wonder, of course, how often that's going to happen. Maybe one for each of them, or I don't know. But I know he's been the guy who does the voice work for Batman. He's been spotted like in the booth, in the audio booth. So I think he'll be in it like an okay amount, not like hours and hours and hours, but I think he'll be in it more than just the beginning of the game, right? And now we kind of know that for sure. I have not seen a single person say they like the Soul Leap. Fair. To be honest, though, I haven't seen people talk about them at all. Not positive or negative, which probably is a negative, to be honest with you. That's the thing. Again, like, I watched as much as I could while doing other videos. I got some fun videos we did today, videos that will go up this weekend and stuff. But, one of the things I like to think about is, again, that kind of mentality where it's like, who's holding back stuff? Who really cares? And I don't like to pick on PlayStation Blog, but to be honest, I don't know why they even did it. I don't know why they did a preview on it. Theirs was so lackluster. That was the first one I read, and I was like, ooh. The first thing I thought is, wow, they really didn't let people play much of this game, right? That's because that was the first thing that dropped. I think it was like the biggest tweet at the time. But then, a couple minutes later, you see IGN did like a 9-minute video. You see like Hollow, right, did like an hour video. Caboose did it. So, then it's like, oh, man, some of these previews just suck. They're really bad. They're just very run-of-the-mill. They're kind of just going over things we already know. They're not really talking about their impressions with this slice of the game. And so granted, not a lot of people got to see it, though. From my understanding, they only flew like 4, 5, 6 people out to Montreal. They had people play it remotely. I mean, how many previews were there probably in all today? Maybe like 20 or 30, maybe slightly more, but not too many. You would expect, and you will expect, there will be more that review it than previewed it. There'll be a lot more that they'll give the review codes for. So yeah, pretty interesting. But then there's that mentality where it's like you get flown out to Montreal. Are you really gonna bash it? If you saw anything you don't like, are you gonna hamper on that? Because is that really okay to do in your realm? And that's the tough thing with it, So yeah. Kian, what's up? Well, I always hope I say your name right. Kian. Kian. Yes, I think so. We'll love to see a playthrough as Batgirl. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I don't know. People keep asking me if I'm going to do like a walkthrough. I don't think I'll do a walkthrough. It depends, though. It depends. We really got to wait 2 weeks. We do. This game is going to be awesome. I can't wait to play it. I'm glad. I mean, I'm happy that people are excited. I think 7.5 to 8 for review. Yeah, I think this game is going to get like a 7.7 kind of thing, which is. And by the way, just so I don't get misinterpreted or anything, I did the tweet this morning, and people didn't. One person took it the wrong way, or the Batman one because he was an idiot. But when I say like this game has like a 7 out of 10 written all over it, I'm not like dissing 7 out of 10s. Like there can be games that come out that get 7s that are perfectly acceptable. We don't live in a world where every game gets a 9 or a 10 or that even deserves a 9 out of 10. So, you know what I mean? So just because the game gets a set, I really just mean when I say that, it's what I've said in videos like 100 times. The game's going to be good at parts. I think it's going to surprise people with certain aspects of it, and then it's going to have some pretty shaky things that hold it back from being amazing, being game-changing, being the game of the generation, or a game that really moves comic book games, right? Like, that's what it's going to miss. And I very much think that's going to happen, right? But that doesn't mean it's going to be a bad game. I think it'll be an above-average game that's like a solid game. And maybe, obviously, that ranges. Some people may really like it. Some people may really hate it. But I think it'll level out as like an above-average kind of game. My thing has always been, are people okay with that? Because, you know, you're used to the Arkham games where it's like, all right, we're expecting some top-notch stuff. I don't think that those expectations are going to work with this. Robin Shinobi outfit. I saw that. The Shinobi outfit's sweet. 8 out of 10 coming. The graphics and content will push it to an 8. Yeah, and visually it did look pretty good from what everybody saw. The game actually looks quite good. The visuals are crisp. Yep, I think the visual part of it surprised people. So that was good to see. Watch PS5 trophies. Did the Harley fight as Robin? Okay, I will. I didn't even know he got it. See, there's sometimes like odd people that you don't really expect to get it that got it. I will. I saw, who did I see? I saw somebody play against Harley as Red Hood and Robin, I think, but not PS5 trophies. I like him. I like him for practical reasons, for trophy hunting. Bat Cycle is good. Robin looked awesome. Teledia Place, what's going on? I mean, but then again, too, they were playing a dev build, so it could be something completely different when it launches. To be honest, I think it's going to be really close to what they played is what we're going to, especially because it's so close to release. You know, when they did Saints Row, I think it was a few months out. So there was a little bit more like giving it to them, or like, suspending, doubts or whatever, where they're like, well, they got a couple months left. But for Gotham Knights, it's like, I don't know when they were able to do this, maybe like last week or a week ago, or like 2 weeks ago. But like what they played is, the game's done. You know what I mean? And actually the game has been done and went gold a while ago. So I do think, besides like patches, I think I saw one Twitter post that said how they're working on more accessibility options that they're going to add after launch. So that's one of the things they're working on right now, is accessibility stuff. And they have some, but not everything. The Knighthood suits for all heroes are dope. Yeah, I've liked a lot of the... Did you see the... was it Nightwing? Nightwing in the Talon outfit, the Talon suit? That looked... Which was a transmog suit. That was sweet. That was a really cool suit. And nobody knows... I assume you'll be able to do that with all 4 of them, but they only... Somebody got that for... I think it was Nightwing. But not the other 3. I was surprised to see an in-game model of Batman. Yeah, that was kind of shocking that was part of their demo. And that only like a couple people even spotted it to put it online. Like most didn't even bring it up. Would you think it would be a big thing to bring it up? Kind of hope there'd be a muscle car or at least an aerial vehicle, because in the Arkham universe, we never flown a vehicle. Yeah, I'd like to fly something. And the closest you're going to get is Nightwing's glider thing, right? So that's a little disappointing. Think it makes sense to be a bit slower. I always thought Batman Arkham jumping 30 feet was stupid, so I like the slower, more restricted, grounded playstyle in Gotham Knights. Yeah, I mean, and what's interesting is, like, we saw a lot of gameplay, like a lot of fisticuffs today, and I overall liked it. I liked a lot of the combat stuff. I liked they finally did dodging or, like, countering like things, so, like, the combat was very good. You just have to then... The only thing that was troublesome or worrying is people that played it that said it got very repetitive very quickly. And I know people have said, like, for the Arkham games, they can be repetitive, and the enemies, there's not an unlimited amount of them. Difference, I guess, is like they only played this game for like 2 to 3 hours. They jumped around multiple segments of the game, and they still felt that it got... So if you feel a game gets repetitive 2 hours into playing it in a preview event, imagine playing it for 40, 50 hours. That's the more troublesome thing with me, is if you get bored of it with a preview event, how are you going to feel if you put 50 hours into it? And the answer, if you're going by your gut, the answer is, yeah, that's gonna hurt the game quite a bit. That could be a big thing that sinks this game. Because combat can be okay, but if the enemies, if it gets boring to fight, and of course that can be helped by switching knights or playing with other people, or as you level them up, you get new abilities. Like you'll change how you fight, and that'll boost the game a little bit. But if it's not done well, then that could really hurt the game. It could really hurt the game. Another quick ask, just make sure if you guys haven't left a like yet, just drop a quick like or a dislike. Engagement is engagement. But make sure you guys do that. Just getting here, but is there a weird thing with a cutscene where only the host character is seen by both players? Ooh, I didn't notice that. I wouldn't be shocked if that was the case, though, with how multiplayer cutscenes like that would play out. I wouldn't be surprised if the other one kind of disappeared. But I don't even think I'm sure I maybe saw it, but I don't even think I noticed it, like, in the moment. All Batgirl suits look great, and the others too. It wouldn't surprise me if that's what they do with Batman. Yeah, maybe. I think Batman has to be the main villain for how much they're hiding the main story. This is the same studio that totally mismarketed Origins with Black Mask Joker. Yeah, that's it. Well, two things. Number one, the secrecy that they've had for the main story has been nuts. Although, looking at other games, I will say it's not so abnormal. I think generally it seems games are getting less and less comfortable with talking about the main story. And I guess like some of the ones I think about, obviously another big one from Warner Bros. Like Hogwarts Legacy has overall been very quiet with certain things. I think a God of War, right? That's one that kind of pops to mind. Now, the story trailer goes through quite a bit, and you can imagine a lot happens because we know the history of, or we know kind of behind the scenes stuff. I think of A Plague Tale Requiem. That one's kind of, so I'm just kind of thinking like they have very much hidden so much of the main story. We know next to nothing about it, and we probably know less than any of the games I just mentioned. But it does seem to almost be a trend in the gaming industry where if it's a story-heavy thing, they're not really going to talk too much about it. I don't know, but that's kind of how I felt. I don't think it's the right move. I don't want to know the whole story, by the way, but I think telling us nothing about it is probably not right either. But I don't know. Tomorrow we were getting Daredevil and She-Hulk and the Mario movie trailer. I can't wait for the Mario movie trailer. Batman will be in at the equivalent amount of time of finding out that Barbara was still alive in Arkham Knight, so maybe 10-15% of the story left. That's fair. Like at the end of the game. Sorry to talk about Caboose, but he showed most of the Batman cutscene, and it's fairly lengthy. I feel like he's going to show for like a big skill you're going to learn or a unique skill with each knight. Yeah, okay. I'll have to watch it. I'll watch it after this. That makes sense. Maybe 4 times. Like he'll be in the beginning. He'll maybe be in it 4 times for like a quick demo tape thing, and then maybe the end of the game, and that would be kind of it. Hollow made a 1-hour video about Gotham Knights, and he never was flown out, but he re-uploaded the vid and made it 30 minutes. Yeah, well, I guess yeah, I think they only flew out like 5 or 6 people. And maybe they're people, I don't know where Caboose lives. I don't really want to know. But, where maybe they, people that were closer to, like, north, they flew them up. And then anybody else, like, I don't think Skill Up went, obviously. Hollow, stuff like that. So, I think some of them got it through just the internet. So, yeah. I was available, by the way. The suits customization in this game looked phenomenal. J-Shock videos showed everything in that realm. Nice. The suits, yeah, I've talked about it before. I don't really care too much about the look, but the thing with this game is it's more than the look, right? Because the suits have a little bit more depth to them than that. So maybe I'll go into the suits a little bit more than I would for a normal game. I just haven't paid too much attention to it. But again, like something like that has never stood out to me as a negative. Like I'm not massively thinking about it. Like the Robin teleportation thing keeps coming into my head. The immersion breaking thing when you have 2 of the same knights, like that's something I've brought up over the years, right? Like those are the things that stick out more. If I don't talk about suits, it's not because it's a huge negative. It's that I'm not really focusing so it's like fine. It's like a fine aspect of the game, which I don't think is a bad thing. Hey, Alex, man, I think Batman is alive. What people hope to see if they want something really surprising, maybe with the other characters. I think he's alive. I still think he's alive. I'll be flat out honest. 7 out of 10 is great. Now 2 out of 10 is a different story. That's true. That's true. And again, to reiterate, review scores. This is something obviously I like to push, but also I stand by my morals and the kind of standards of my channel where, you know, you guys make your own decisions. You guys make your own opinions. You don't always have to agree with me. Totally cool. You respect me. I respect you. All that stuff. I do like to push that reviews are kind of worthless, like score-wise. You shouldn't be going off of scores. That's my opinion, right? I just don't think it's necessary. If the game got like, and yet again, you know, I'm not other people. I mean, if you only have limited money, you really, you know, you're debating on whether to get Gotham Knights. If the game's a 9 out of 10 on Metacritic, or if the game's a 6 out of 10, that probably does sway you, and that's understandable. I was there. But I don't know. I think you just make your own opinion with what you've seen and people you trust online, and you go from there. Like, if the game gets a 6 out of 10, you know, now in 2 weeks, you know, that's not going to really affect anything for me. I've made my decision, and there's really nothing that's going to sway me either way from what they could show. You know what I mean? There's very few games for me that I wait for a review. And even when I wait for a review, it's more like I just want to see more about the game. I just want to hear different thoughts. I want to maybe hear about things that we haven't heard yet about it. You know what I mean? That's really all I focus on when I wait for a review. Most games, I don't wait for a review. I decide, you know, on my own. That's an important thing. Because whenever I bring up review scores and, you know, people say, Alex, you really should just go based off your own thing. And it's like, that's my whole motto for the channel for years. It's like, obviously you don't watch, you know what I mean? But, you know, it gets confusing maybe when I bring in review scores like that. So I don't know. Seeing Batman in the training simulator was definitely awesome. Hope we see more of him in those simulator tests. I'm sure we will. A 6 out of 8, a 6, 2, and 8 is about where I think this game will fall. Agreed. Are you getting God of War? Of course. Of course. If you see a score like a 3, 4, or 5 in a good game, I feel something fishy going on. Well, I don't know. Like The Last of Us Part 2, you know, gets like 10 out of 10s, and then some people have the guts to give it like a 5, and then there are the outliers. So do you dismiss them? Or do you think something maybe else is going on in that situation? You know what I mean? So I don't, you know, sometimes the outskirt things are like just morons, but other times it's like, well, I don't know. I want to kind of see what they have to say. In my opinion, the best suits for Red Hood and Gotham Knights are the Talon and Knighthood suits. Okay, so Red Hood, somebody found the Talon suit for too, I suppose. Like I said, I've only seen the Nightwing one, but he looked great. And if they all look that good, I don't know if I'll wear them nonstop. I still like the Year One suits the best out of all of them. But there's quite a few good suit sets in this game. I never trust IGN scores in games. That's fair. After the too much water thing, who really could trust IGN? Flying in Arkham would be foolish to me. Yeah, you get shot down. Alex, what villains are you hoping are in the game? I want Killer Croc. Yes. I'm just gonna agree with you. I want Killer Croc. And notice they were. And that's the thing, again, though. I don't know if you guys, well, because you guys have obviously seen some of these videos. I haven't. I talked about this earlier. The whole idea that they're still very limited. And yes, it's a preview event. And preview events, they're always limited. They always are, like, told what sections they're in. And things are hidden on purpose. But they still are very secretive on the main story, Court of Owls, any side villains besides time. But Harley has been used countless times now for these kind of preview-like builds. So, you know, they're still keeping them in very closed boxes, you know what I mean? They were able to play the beginning, but we already saw the beginning. So there's not much there that's new. Then you see the Harley boss fight, and I guess working backwards. You see the Harley boss fight, which is also not new. Then you see some of the Harley quest line, which would be new. And then you see some open world stuff. And that's, I think, where Hollow and Caboose got like all that gameplay from. So limited in terms of where they let them kind of stretch out. You know what I mean? Again, a lot of games are secretive when it comes to that stuff, for sure, but not always. Not always. I remember, like, for Ghostwire Tokyo, I got a preview build for that game, and what they basically did was I think they just gave the whole game out. So they gave me Ghostwire Tokyo quite a while, like 3.5 weeks early, and they said play a certain, but that one they said just play the game, like go through it, but you had to stop at a certain chapter, and that's those sections. That's what you could do your preview video on. And then the review is just keep playing the game and then do your review. So some games don't do it, but I think it's pretty common for them to kind of lock you into, all right, here's the sections you're going to do. And some games make you jump around. Some games don't, right? Sometimes you'll see previews of, here's the first 4 hours based off of the first 4 hours of the game. But for a story game, you can't necessarily give them the first 4 hours, right? Because you could find out a lot in the story in 4 hours. So, yeah. Although Ghostwire is a story game, so I don't know. The outfits look great. Arkham is fun, repetitive. True. And that's the thing. Like, Arkham just kind of has that fun factor to it. And, you know, as you get new gadgets and stuff, you kind of make the fights more interesting and different locations. Sometimes they mix up the enemy variants. Like, you know, they do enough that makes it not repetitive. And it's very possible Gotham Knights does as well. It's just, again, the only issue there is if people are playing your preview build and it's very specific levels and they are saying that the game is repetitive in just a few hours, you know, is playing the game all the way through, is that going to fix it or is it going to be a lot worse? And those are really the only two options, right? I'm not an Arkham fan. Not sure I'll ever understand the never-ending comparisons. The Gotham Knights looks really good. I believe people will be surprised. Yeah, one thing I didn't like, several reviews went in, oh God, how many times have I said reviews? Because I've always meant previews. Several of the previews did this, and I wasn't a fan, focusing very heavily on this game is not the Arkham games, and that's okay. Like, I don't know why you take that angle to the preview. You know, for me, when I was looking for these preview things and what people were writing, I didn't need whole articles or entire previews being dedicated to how does it compare or not compare purposely to the Arkham game. I think Video Game Chronicles did that. Video Game Chronicles is normally pretty okay, but it's like I don't care about that. It's gonna get compared to Arkham whether they want it to or not. People will make that comparison when the game is out. You don't need to focus the entire preview. Like, I want to know details in these previews, right? I want to know how the game functions. I want to know what you think about it. Like, truly think, not, you know, not holding back, you know, kind of opinions. Like, tell me what you think. And I don't need to know about, you know, if it compares to Arkham or not. Am I the only one who thinks there's too many things on screen in this game? Like damage? Well, damage numbers you can turn off. I hate the damage numbers. I always have. So I do think that is overkill, and that doesn't help the things on the screen. But I don't know. Things on the screen discussions are always tough because somebody will always just throw in another comparison to another game, and it kind of ruins the whole thing. I'm playing God of War 2018 again. Almost done with it. And I just try to think of, like, any normal game, and it's like, you know, there's a decent amount of stuff on any game screen, like always. So I don't really, unless it's like super overkill, which there are games that do it. Gotham Knights, I don't really get the sense that it'll be overkill, to be honest. But the damage, I hate the damage number, so I am turning that off. Watch them do the villains fight the Court of Owls in the end. Yeah. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet info's nice. The game looks better than I thought, which is crazy because they've been showing us gameplay. Yeah, it definitely, I think this was the most polished product, like the most polished version of anything we've seen of this game yet, which is good. And I thought that dialogue between Red Hood and Nightwing was actually pretty good. I thought it was okay. I'll be honest, I didn't like it, I think, as other people did, as much as other people did. I liked it to an okay amount, but I don't know. I just didn't... None of the voice acting has super stood out to me as good, but that could change in the, you know, that's a consistency thing, and that's picking, that's definitely picking areas because we haven't seen it flow, the dialogue at all, because it's always cut. So That one I'm not gonna, right now I haven't really been a fan of the voice acting from anybody, like an actual fan, like where I would say, wow, you've crushed it, you've done so well. I wouldn't say any of them have done it, but I think for voice acting specifically, very hard to judge until you get into the game, for sure. Loving the Halloween decor, by the way. Thank you. There's much more of it that the camera doesn't pick up. So, I appreciate it, buddy. Alex, to be honest, I'm really happy from what I've heard and seen so far. Good. I'm happy people are happy. That's a good thing. Today was today was the biggest day, I'd argue, Gotham Knights had in a long time. Maybe since the reveal. Like maybe the DC Fandom the year after, because we didn't really know what they would show. The release date day was kind of big, but then they moved it up, so it kind of took away from that day, retrospectively or retroactively. You know what I mean? So really, I think in terms of like everybody's talking about it, you know what I mean? Like, we're all kind of a part of it, right? Because a lot of people did previews. You all watched them. I watched them. Then you have people like me that are doing reaction live streams to the previews. Like, this is it's a big day for the game. And, you know what's going to beat it, though, is the day the game... the day that's going to beat this day is when reviews go live. And then the day that'll beat that is when the game goes live. Those will be the two bigger days. So, yeah. Well, I know Caboose very well as I mod for him, and he's in Canada. Oh. I know 3 content creators were flown out to the studio. The others were remote. Oh, okay. Maybe it was literally only people in Canada. I'm a dual citizen. No, I think in flying people out to studios, especially in the last 2 years or coming out of the last couple years, I imagine is going to be so stupid. How people have to work around stuff. So I would not expect people to be flown out to studios in the same way and amount that they were, years ago. It's just not going to happen. And with technology improving, you can do like streaming it. You can stream it right to the person and stuff. So I think that's what Saints Row did. So that'll be fun. That's good. One day I'll get invited though. Do you believe we're going to get new Batman game after Gotham Knights? I think eventually. I don't know if it'll be the next game though. If I'm honest, how we might be able to train in the Belfry? I kind of want to fight Batman in a training simulator. That would be sweet. I don't think they'll do that. Do you think we'll get to play as Damian Wayne? No, but I do think he will be integrated into the story quite a bit. And it's possible, I guess, we could play as him maybe as like an end game character unlock if we if they don't want to do or if they do DLC, Damian Wayne could be a really good choice for that, for sure. Let's see. I agree. That way I watch more reviews, more like watching content for games I'm interested in. I know what I like, and I think Gotham Knights will be great for me personally. Yeah. Ultimately, you just find people that you like to listen to, and like for me, when I review games, I don't give scores. So, for me, I guess it's harder. I kind of make people work harder because if you watch my reviews, if you go based off of me for reviews, you have to kind of understand, which is on me too. I have to explain if I liked the game or not, but not give a number to it. So I'll just say I really liked it, or I did, or this part I liked. And if and the way I look at it is I'll just kind of tell you as much as I can what I liked and specific things that I think you would want to hear if you're debating. And then maybe I don't like an aspect, but when I describe it, but you guys do, then that's fine. You know what I mean? Then you pick up on that. So that's kind of how I run my reviews, is like that. Because you guys should be the one, the consumer should be the one that decides, like ultimately, right? Like if you're for Black Adam or Halloween Ends, or for movies or shows or games, it shouldn't even be based off of a review score. It should be based off of do you agree with the positives that you've seen or disagree with the negatives or whatever. So yeah. The game does look way better than I thought it was going to turn out. Robin will be my first playthrough, despite his teleporting. Won't use it unless I like it because seeing and playing are different. True. That's a thing, too. I mean, playing it is definitely a different feel than actually seeing it before your eyes. So that's a great point. I just probably will not touch it. I mean, I'll try it to see if it's good, and then I, maybe won't ever touch it again. I agree with that, Alex. I do like to see what other players think of it, but in the end, I'll judge it when I play it. Yeah. Or I judge will I play it. Yeah, that's what you gotta do. Can't wait until God of War. Can't wait to fight Thor. Agreed. And kill him. Robin Talon's suit looks a bit goofy. Oh, does it? I've only seen Nightwing's, but that kind of sucks. But I like some of Robin's other suits, like that Shinobi one. Robin's Shinobi suit looks sweet, so maybe I'll just do that. The Damien one I answered. I'm seeing a few comparisons to the Avengers game combat. It seems like everybody was disappointed in that combat. I don't know. Have people actually that previewed it, though, have they compared it to Avengers, or has it been people that watch it that compare it to Avengers? I have seen people say it, but I've seen people that I saw one person say it, but he, from what I understand of him, is just very negative about the game. Always. So I don't really know how much stock to put into his opinion. I don't think it looks like Avengers. I think maybe it looks like a mix of Avengers, but then also Arkham. So I don't know. But it's a feel thing. Like I hated the look of Guardians of the Galaxy's gameplay. I really hated it. And then I played it, and I loved it. It was a underrated element of the game. So that kind of stuff, I've had to be careful. Well, I've kind of like learned. I've learned from my past opinions where I don't really know until I play it. Also, with reviews, you have to look at companies intentionally mass deleting less than positive comments on their products. Yeah, that too. Well, it's harder to do for games, though, because like Amazon, like Lord of the Rings and Amazon, they own it, so they can delete all these reviews on their sites because they own the review sites. Like Gotham Knights can't really quietly, for the most part, delete reviews, without people noticing. So the suit looks great. I just can't wait to make my Nightwing build. Nice. Or the suits plural. Killer Croc was briefly mentioned by a civilian in a preview, which was pretty cool. Oh, that's sweet. That's sweet. I didn't know that. I need to play this already. Agreed. Me too. Hello, Alex. Love the content. Much love from Canada. Thank you. Thank you. How close are you? How close are you to Montreal? Nightwing is my favorite hero of all time, so finally being able to play as him fully makes me happy. Good. Yeah, Scarecrow. I've mentioned Scarecrow before too. I think I don't want too many that we've already seen. Killer Croc is one because like the water elements and a crocodile. Like I like the idea of Killer Croc quite a bit. I like the idea of Scarecrow as well. But I don't know. It depends. As I've always said, it depends on how many villains there are, because then you have to start pick. Like if you can only have 3, and those are 2 of them, then like you have enough spots basically for a third one, right? So that's the tough part of it. The screen is customizable. Oh, good. I also forgot about that Marvel Werewolf by Night Halloween special. Oh, I didn't even know. I knew about it. I didn't know it was coming out Friday though. Some games are nice to have damage numbers. Yeah, but it depends on the game. Yo, Colin, I said I personally don't think he will. But I already answered that. These Nightwing suits are dope. Yo, do people want Damien to be in this game so bad? He's arguably the worst character in the whole family. Well, I think people want him, even if people think that. Let's see. One thing I've seen in only one preview brings up the population of the city. Yes, it looks to have a lot more density from Arkham Knight. Nothing like Spider-Man, but that wouldn't make sense. Yeah, I didn't. In some of the first previews I saw, I didn't see anything talk about the actual like the world as you're going through it. But there was the one preview that mentioned that people will talk to you or whatever. People will like clap like Spider-Man. So I did see that, and that's cool. Honestly, the biggest takeaway from that is that there are people, on the streets, which and the thing is, they've said that, right? Because they've said like the different districts are, they vary. So some of them may be completely empty, but some of them will have people. So they've said that, but they've never shown it. So, people will joke about, or will jab at them and say like, all right, so, it's just an empty city again. So, it seems like they're taking from Spider-Man for sure, but also just the fact that, okay, finally people actually played the game in their own hands and they saw human beings, civilians on the streets. Thank God. You know what I mean? So that's good that we actually got that. I want a Cassandra Cain DLC. Me too. I've said Stephanie Brown for the thing, but Stephanie, Cassandra, Damien, I'll take any of those. Guardians of the Galaxy didn't give you nowhere near as much, and it got an 8. I don't see why Gotham Knights doesn't get an 8, especially if Gotham Knights has an endgame. Well, Guardians, though, was an incredible story and incredible characters. I don't know. Are we going to really compare a game that's out versus a game that's not out with a story? But if we are, Guardians is a pretty amazing story. One of the better emotionally told, things that I played last year. Do I think Gotham Knights can do it? Can they do it? Yes. Will they do it? I'm not really expecting it. So, it's just different. It's just different. In terms of the gameplay, yeah, Gotham Knights is definitely more open, including how you play as the characters, more open than you were in Guardians. I just bring up Guardians because that's my example of me as a person. The first time we saw Guardians, I was very skeptical of it. When we saw gameplay, I was like, ew, that looks bad. And then I played it, and it was like, no, the gameplay is really good. I didn't expect it because I didn't think it was going to be good. So that's kind of a thing I've had in my head for, all right, well, if Gotham Knights, follows suit, then maybe that happens for that as well. Do you believe it might get some DLCs? Yes. I'm sorry, but the game feels soulless and boring. The combat system is awful. The AI is bad. Dialogue sounds weird. Give me a remastered Arkham Origins. I'm sure, hopefully one day. Hopefully next year, I guess, for the 10-year. Maybe. On a whole, I found that previews had more pros going for. Oh, what's up? I am Life of Dreads. Of course, some of the negatives were subjective to each platform they played, but I've enjoyed what I've seen so far. Yeah. And well, again, like my stance on it is just nobody was openly negative, and we will not know until the game is out if they weren't negative because there's nothing to be negative about, or they are doing the thing where they're cowards and they don't say anything because they were invited to an event. We will not know. We will not know. Most of the criticism talked about today was like ifs. If they don't put things together in the end. If the enemies are this repetitive when we play the full version. If they don't do this. And you can't judge anything on ifs, right? You have to play the full game and then you'll know. So it's why you have to take previews both ways, with a grain of salt. Where, for as many positives, well, could there have been negatives and they were just hiding them? But then, you could say the same thing for negatives. Well, maybe they legitimately liked what they saw. You know what I mean? So there's, it's why, like, previews are awesome to talk about. Like I said, this is the biggest day for Gotham Knights in a long time. We got the most info of the game today than probably ever. But you can only go so far with, like, the stuff that we saw is one part of it. But then the subjectiveness of what they think, you can only go so far with that. And so, yeah. That's why also like ACG's buy, wait for sale, rent, or never touch rating system. Yeah. I've considered making a rating scale like his, but his is iconic, and I can't really. I won't copy it, so I don't even do that. I think I kind of say, like, buy at full price or don't buy or wait for a sale. I do think I slip in those phrases, but I'm not copying him. Yeah, would be great to see a Guardians of the Galaxy sequel. It would. Yes, a couple people who previewed compared it to Avengers. Great. Fantastic. Well, if it is Avengers, that's not going to be great for it, and people will tear the thing up. I mean, they just will. So, originally I thought I'd go Nightwing, Red Hood, Batgirl, Robin, but now it's Robin, Batgirl, Nightwing, Red Hood. Nice. So quite a switch. Quite a switch. Like I said, yeah, Robin, I understand that. Robin, I understand that jump because Robin's just not been shown. So seeing him, it's like, oh, now we finally get to see what he's all about, and he looks good. So I can see Robin jumping up a lot of people's things. Oh, I did a video. Actually, I did a video with I Am Life of Dreads that'll go up very soon where we talk about ranking them, but it was before the previews came out. So, I don't think my opinion's changed much about it. So yeah. Let's see. I've seen previewers saying it is extremely different from Avengers. Uncaged game was one of them. Oh, okay. So various opinions. I'm sorry I'm so far behind, by the way, but in these kind of chat live streams, I like to try to hit everybody's comment. Unless you guys are talking to each other, then What's up, Alex? What's up, Jay Tatum? I wish Toonami would bring back Demon Slayer. I really like that show. Yeah, well, Season 2 came out, just not in English. I can't wait for that. Dude, I don't think Nightwing's glider is that bad. Neither is Red Hood's powers. The only problem is that they had better options, like Nightwing should be able to do flips and jumps on buildings. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, one of the main issues could just be what they could have done instead of what they did, right? So that's kind of a thing. I hope they add some outfits from shows or movies. I think they will. Like a Titans Nightwing outfit. Yeah. Also, Alex, sorry for asking the Damien question over and over. I didn't see your answer because I don't have great connection right now, so it skipped over your answer. No worries. And I talk too fast and mumble. Well, you know what? I think I used to mumble quite a bit. I don't know if I mumble. I just think I'm maybe so fast and slur-like, well, what I just did, like speech impediments that probably make it hard sometimes to follow. I feel bad because some people tell me, like, English isn't their first language, but they like my videos, and it kind of like keeps them on their toes. And it's like, yeah, I can see that. If English is not your first language and you listen to me, I don't know how you keep up. Because I talk way too fast. But I didn't always used to. Do you like Marvel games or DC games more? No opinion. I like games. I love Spider-Man to death. Miles Morales was awesome. Guardians of the Galaxy was incredible. It's a game tied for my game of the year for last year. But the Arkham franchise is one of my favorites of all time. And we don't really have that many DC games now, do we? But no, I love both. I just like games. Honestly, I found Guardians cringe on reveal, but later loved it. Yeah. I don't know if cringe. I just thought maybe I was like, we do not need this game. That's kind of how I thought of it at first. You think this game could be as good as God of War, Ghost of Tsushima? Well, God of War is very different than Ghost and this because it is open world. I mean, okay, is God of War really open world? I say, oh God. I mean, I would say it is technically, but it is such a different game than Gotham Knights or Ghost of Tsushima, so that's not fair to compare. But no, I would also say no. I don't think it's going to be nearly as good as either of those. But those are some incredible games, so. Batman isn't even in the game, supposedly, but the story seems damn good. I think he will be in I think he'll be in the game. Or I think he's alive, too. I do expect, Alex, from Jason's dichotomy between rage and struggling with bloodlust, trying to honor Batman's no-killing legacy. Oh, you're just kind of going... Yeah. I mean, Red Hood's pretty detailed. I haven't seen anything with Red Hood that, makes me super excited. But I think Red Hood, because of his backstory, and they all have backstories, but I think Red Hood, because of his backstory, could easily be the most interesting. So, we'll see how that goes. I played the Arkham games and thought it would have the opposite effect, and I would be less hyped for Gotham Knights, but I'm even more hyped. That's fair. That's fair. I haven't even done that. My prep for Gotham Knights is playing God of War because I'm prepping for Ragnarok. I didn't really prep for Gotham Knights. So, I'm glad to hear that, though. In a solo game is going to be good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not expecting it to be like Arkham. Yeah. I think ACG gives it a bye. Gotham Knights? I don't know. What do you think? He's pretty ruthless. But yeah, you know what? ACG is ruthless when you kind of expect him to be, but other times when you expect him to be ruthless, I will say this, he was way too nice on Saints Row. But yet again, it's his opinion. I mean, some people really like Saints Row. I'll never agree to with them, but I guess I get it. So I don't know. Sometimes people surprise you. I'm not going through comments slowly. I have 1,000 of them I gotta read. Why is there not a counter button? Having to evade the whole time seems like it's gonna make gameplay clunky. It could. It looked a lot better today though than it did ever before. I'll say that. Gonna take some time to rank them again until they finish play full. Yeah, I'm gonna. I did a video where we talk about our ranking right now of them, and then when the game comes out, I'll do definitely once the game is out, I'll do a ranking video where I rank the Knights. But this is just kind of like a preparation kind of thing. If it's like Avengers, it's gonna burn. If it's like Avengers, yeah, that'll be a problem. Hi mate, I reckon that you write about Batman. The right female, Talia, right female, and Joker in the middle. Well, I don't think it's Talia or Joker, but I do think that could very well be Bruce on the left. An Alfred prequel game set in his life. That'd be fun. I wouldn't say God of War is fully... Yeah, but yet again, once you have to throw in the games are fully open world or they're just open world, it gets way too confusing. Was rewatching Under the Red Hood, and the way Red Hood was traversing was jumping building to building with a rope grapple. Yeah, they could have done that. I mean, they all have the grapple thing though, right? So they kind of do that. Every time I see Gotham Knights, it just makes me sad that Arkham Knight sequel got canceled for this. Fair. You're never, it is what it is. I think the game's coming out, and we'll see if it was for the right choice to do it or if it was the wrong choice. Right? There's really nothing. I guess what I was trying to say through my stuttering. Stuttering, by the way, was the phrase I meant earlier. I stutter a lot. There's nothing we can do about it. You just have to, we'll have to see how it goes. Still hoping Catwoman will be in the game. That'd be fun. That definitely would be fun. God of War semi-open world or hub world is how I would describe it. Yeah, it's too tough. He was extra nice about Saints Row. Yeah, he was. And I really don't understand that, but what do you think of the suits? I like them. I like them quite a bit. And like I've said, my opinion on suits is I just normally don't care. The only game I care about the suits is Spider-Man because of just the way they did it. Really was really good. So, if this game makes me if I don't care about the suits, that's not like a gigantic negative. If I care about the suits, the game actually did something extra positive, for me, right? Now, maybe some other people care about the suits more, so that's like a more integral thing that they look for when they're reviewing it or just playing it. For me, like I said, if I'm talking about it positively, that means it made an impact enough to talk about it. Because normally I just don't even care, which is definitely different than most people. I get that. I definitely understand that. Well, wouldn't you say Arkham Knight story wasn't that good, but its combat was just amazing? I've always had a soft spot, though, for Arkham's story. I know people didn't like it, but I've always kind of been fine with it. So, but I guess what you're trying to say, basically, right, could Gotham Knights be a surprise story in a good way? Yeah, it could. Some people may like it more than Arkham's story, for sure. It looks like the Knights are going to get Court of Owls themed skins too. Yeah, it's a transmog suit that they can. It's a Talon suit, I believe. So yeah. One thing I wished I heard about is performance on PC, but I get it's a dev build. Yeah, what did they play it on? Does anybody know? The PlayStation blog. I would assume they played it on PlayStation. I don't remember even seeing. Maybe I saw it, but I just didn't notice enough to take note. Did IGN even say what they played it on? I didn't even care. I didn't care, but that's because, I don't know. I'm not debating amongst systems. I know the system I'm going to get it on. I get why it would be important, though. The Saints Row review bomb was upsetting because I was really excited about it when it was announced. I'll pick it up when I can get it for $15. Well, it wasn't a review, yeah. Well, when you say review bombing, it sounds like it was, planned that way. It just happened to be the game was terrible. So, Do you think it was fair for people commenting on repetitive enemies when nobody fought the Court of Owls yet? So, yeah, I mentioned that earlier, Phantom, where I think there's an extent you can talk about it, but you really won't know until the game is out, right? You won't know until the game is out if they clever ways basically building it throughout the game where the enemies aren't repetitive anymore. It's tough. At the same time, though, if it's a preview build, it's very select missions that they're letting people play, and they think it's repetitive. That probably isn't a good sign. It's probably not. But is it the be-all, end-all? No. But it could be a sign of, not great things. I want Red Hood's guns to form a sniper for long range. That'd be fun. Batman is alive. I definitely think Batman is alive. Uncaged say that Gotham Knights isn't Marvel's Avengers from the game in his video. Gotcha. I do think Red Hood should have been leaner. If they want to go for a buffer version, then that's fine. Honestly, it's his hair. His face in the cutscenes have always looked odd to me. Yeah. Definitely Joker in this game. Well, they said Joker is not in the game. So, if you want to believe them, if you don't want to, that's okay. It was on a console. I think all systems had dev builds them. Oh, okay, possible. I assume PlayStation had to at least be one. So, if they also played on PC, but PlayStation was... I think Skill Up likes to do PC, so I'd imagine maybe that. But, honestly, it feels like people were expecting this game to get trashed, and now that it's not, people are nitpicking, being overly critical to justify their opinions, in my opinion. Well, it depends on the person. Definitely depends on the person. I do think there's maybe damage control. I saw from a couple people that purposely are negative about the game, and then they saw positives, and then they went after those positives. But like I said, it wasn't glowing praise. It wasn't like this is something, truly spectacular. It was kind of like things are pretty solid. I think, what you were saying, part of it, maybe people expected it to be really bad, and it was above average, the thoughts of it. So that was the difference in it. But yeah. Skill Up said he played on a cloud service. So probably PC then, right? I don't even know if you can do that on console. Yeah, Saints Row is pretty bad. Even though it's all systems for this game. Well, only next gen. Caboose confirmed ray tracing on PS5, but I don't think anyone mentioned which system they play it on. Yeah, like I said, I think the PlayStation blog, I assume they played it on PS5. Joker in this game. Again, I personally don't think Joker's in it, even though I kind of want him to be in it. I'm going to go now. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for dropping by, Robbie, whoever your real name is. But thanks for being here. Joker will be in the next game if Gotham Knights does good. That's possible. That's definitely possible. I think Harley Quinn in this game is a mix of Joker and herself. That's true, too. Who's the Golden Court of Owls? Like the middle guy, the main. He's the head. I would just imagine he's the head of it. I hope it's not as bad. Nothing could be as bad as Saints Row. Saints Row is that kind of odd, every couple of years you get like just a game that's shockingly terrible. That was Saints Row. You don't normally get more than, one of those that bad, normally. It'd be cool if they had the dive bomb animation for back rails gliding. Yeah, it would. I don't know if anybody's ever seen it, though. Golders Court Owl Grazer. I don't know what you're trying to say, Daniel. You got to speak. It's got to be clearer in order for me to comment on it. Is there a chance of Joker DLC? Yeah, I think so. I think because I've talked about villain DLC. I think there could be villain DLC. And Joker, I definitely think, would be a candidate for that. What are you going to do for the first few hours of the game? Oh, God. Probably explore. I mean, get to the point where you can do open world stuff. And then, or like, is the world you'd imagine you have to do a couple missions or whatever, cutscenes and stuff. And then the world opens up. As soon as the world opens up, I'm going to do whatever is available at that point. I like to do like the outskirt stuff first and then do the main stuff. That's generally how I do. Like how I handle open world games is I just collect side missions and whatnot, and I do them first. And then once I'm done with them, then I rifle through the main story. So I may play the game like, say, 10, 15 hours, just do side stuff. And then like the next batch of time, just mission, just do all the main missions and beat the game. In a way, that's even what I did for like The Witcher. I would do so many side missions, and then I would just nail quite a few main missions. So something like that. I saw both PC and PS5 UI for Batgirl's Nosedive. One said press the space key, and another said press circle. Oh, fast. And there you go. So it is in the game then. There you go. There you go. I wish we got to see Gotham City in the daytime, but I do understand why it's at night. Yeah, that one's interesting. Jake from Game Ranks said Batgirl dive bomb confirmed. Sweet. There you go. See, we're learning quite a bit just in the live stream. I'm going to stack up materials and get some suits. Yeah. Which villains would you guys like to see regarding not shown or possible DLC? I like the idea of Joker. I've always said Hush. I've always said Killer Croc. I think those would be a good grouping to start. Like a Deathstroke would be cool too, by the way. I feel I'd like to do the mini missions first whenever I can, and then the story stuff. Yeah, that's what I do too. I do the exact same thing unless I have to do a mission to unlock something. Yeah. I hope there's going to be a lot of Easter eggs. There will. I think there'll be lots of Easter eggs in this game. I think Joker is either dead or he's shut down. In The Dark Knight Returns, when Bruce decides not to be Batman anymore, Joker literally shuts down because Batman was his whole reason. Yeah. I think he's like retired, kind of. That I don't think he's dead. If you play on PC, can you plug in a PS4 controller? I think so. I know you can plug in a PS5 for sure. So maybe. Caboose said he only had 20 minutes for the open world and showed gameplay. He was passing cars and showed like cops getting mad at him. Nice. Yeah, because they only got to play the game, I think, 3 hours. And, you got to think if they played the beginning of the game, the not the prologue, but right after it, the Harley Quinn boss fight, a mission or two leading into the Harley Quinn boss fight, you got to imagine, yeah, they didn't have much time to just, it's not like they had like 5 hours to just go around the open world. They had limited time. So they took away the Y button counter. Yep. Ra's al Ghul, that's one. Yeah, sorry, I forgot that one. I mentioned him on Twitter a few days ago. Ra's al Ghul would be cool. Pretty sure they're going to have upgrade moves and combos. They do have upgrades, but I don't know. Well, we kind of seen what the upgrades do, I guess. Talia in the game? Either her or Ra's al Ghul, so possible. I hope Scarecrow's in the game. Different interpretation from Arkham Knight could be refreshed. Yeah, I've petitioned for Scarecrow for that actual reason, just to kind of see him be done a little bit different than what we have seen. I was surprised you could actually attack the police in the game. I didn't even know. That's great. Well, that's not great. That's a fascinating concept. I feel like Two-Face would be a no-brainer since he has his own gang like Penguin. Yeah, I just think Two-Face and Penguin have been done. I mean, they've been done just as much as other villains, so maybe it's unfair to say they've been done too much. But it almost feels like they've been done too much, where like there's almost a limited thing you can do with them versus other villains that have repeated, so they just kind of feel used too many times. It's odd. Like those two are pretty odd people to talk about. Robin looks awesome. I want to play as him. I hope Professor Pig is in the game. That'd be fun. For God's sake, please no more Riddler trophies. I think they confirmed there are no Riddler trophies. I think a fast, stealthy fighter would be Deathstroke, since we got all Robins. Would be a nice Teen Titans reference. Yeah, that'd be fun. Mad Hatter. Yeah, Penguin I think will be I could see Penguin like flipping and being some sort of boss fight, but maybe something like that. Either he's gonna just be your ally throughout the whole game, or he'll flip at the end and be a villain, at the end of his tale. But I don't really think he has a tail, because he's kind of just a guy who gives you information. So, you know what I mean? I don't really know. I don't need him to, like, again, with Two-Face and with Penguin, I don't really think you need them to be, I don't even think you need them to be in the game. Penguin being in the game, I guess, is already, already doing a thing that, maybe some people don't want them to do. But, yeah, it's been a... Well, I guess I got to watch Caboose's, right? And what other things are people getting from? Mainly Caboose is what people, I guess, maybe the Game Ranks one or Jake from it. Is that where he's from? Because I've seen him and like I never knew. I guess never put two and two together that that's where he works. Killer Moth, that'd be fun. Penguin is a cyberpunk fixer. Yeah, yeah. But I guess I gotta watch a couple other stuff. But I feel like, you know, again, there wasn't an unlimited amount of previews today, so I think people, you know, have gotten the most out of what people have shown. And ultimately, you know, I think the reviews, like I said, the reviews are going to be the biggest thing. People are going to get a lot out of the reviews. What's the next game that they're making? I want a Teen Titans game, so I'll guess that. One of Caboose's main criticism was the voice acting. Fascinating. That's been one of mine as well. I think I missed you saying it, but what's PS5? Just PS5. I mean, it's either, you know, you either get on PS5. PS5 is where I play primarily third-party games that aren't on Game Pass. If they're on Game Pass, it's immediately an Xbox thing. But I just do third parties normally through PlayStation. I have a PC that could definitely run it for sure. I'm just not I have a PC, a gaming PC, like a PC that's very powerful, RTX 3080, all that stuff. But I'm a console, you know, at my heart, I'm a console gamer. I'm not a PC master. PC is the master race, but I just can't get into, you know, that being my primary system that I play games on, even though you spend more money on a PC than you ever will on consoles. So Jake is from Game Ranks and his own channel. Oh, okay. I've seen his own channel. I guess I never knew he was from Game Ranks, but maybe I did, and I just never put it together. Game Ranks are pretty okay. I remember Game Ranks when they were very small, and I'm talking like 50K or less. I mean, remember that Game Ranks grew like wildfire in California. Very quick. I think the detective aspect of the game will help it step away from the Arkham games. Yeah, that's true. That's true. As long as they're not boring, right? I mean, you got to do it right, but the fact that there is going to be so much detective work in Gotham Knights definitely, I think, will separate it from, you know, other stuff. That's a good point. I don't think voice acting is terrible. Yeah, I don't think it's terrible. I just don't think it's good. You know, it's kind of like indifferent. I envy you PC owners. Game looks extra crisp. Yeah, I mean, if you have a PC that can run it at full strength, PC is the best way, you know, doing it. I think Victor Zaz would be interesting. Calendar Man for the first time. Yeah. Well, Calendar Man fight. Yeah. I mean, they could do some obscure stuff. The issue is the way they've done it with Harley, Clayface, and Mr. Freeze, and even Penguin, and then the Court of Owls, I suppose. But, you know, even them, it does seem like they're going for pretty recognizable ones. And if they only have, say, like 6, 7 side villains, and they've already shown 3, I don't know if there'll be any obscure ones. We may get just kind of classics. Bane, Killer Croc, and I'm not saying all of them, just from the group. Bane, Killer Croc, Scarecrow, Firefly, Hush, Zaz, you know, like, you know what I mean, characters like that. I don't know how wild they would get. Like, Calendar Man would be sweet, and imagine building some sort of storyline around him. I don't know. It doesn't really seem like they're going that route. But they could do that route with, they could do the more like obvious thing with 5 of the 6 villains and then make one of them obscure, which could be what they're doing. So Deathstroke would be cool. I really want to see an investigation on co-op and how that works. Yeah. Well, you saw like the menu that said co-op, like the multiplayer, but I don't think we saw anybody do like a server drop in, drop out kind of thing. I don't think anybody got that. And with you, Alex, console, I feel better playing it. Yeah, I mean, the controller is a big element of why, you know, I like consoles more. But also, like, playing it on my TV in my living room, like, I don't know. It's how I did it growing up. You know, it feels homey. Deathstroke would be a good first DLC. I feel like Hush might help you in this game. Maybe. Poison Ivy. Yep, that's a good one. One thing I'm really looking forward to is the cockiness from all the villains, because they really, because they think Batman is dead, and then you get to rise up. But yes, that's a really good point. That's a really good point because from like a Joker's perspective, yeah, it may make him so depressed, right, that he just isn't into it. But for other villains, you're right, like they may be so confident that you guys are his sidekicks. We don't even have to worry about it. But the point is, you're supposed to kind of like ascend and be even better. So they have, that catches them off guard. So that's a cool story element kind of thing to the game. You know what I mean? What about Deadshot? Yep, Deadshot would be fine as well. Deadshot, I wonder because of Suicide Squad, though. Poison Ivy, I think, is possible. Maybe Bruce Wayne is hiding among the Court of Owls. They played into that for the Gotham TV series. Yeah, definitely possible. Definitely. Yep, that's Nana. That's our older dog. Our bigger dog. The other one's laying on me. I believe even at the highest difficulty, the boss fights won't be challenging. Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see because they say the higher leveled you are, the more abilities and moves the bosses will have. So, that'll be interesting to see how that goes. They could be. And that'll hurt. That'll kind of suck if that happens. So, yeah. That's why... let's see. I'm hoping for at least one villain from their own comic runs outside of Batman's, like Blockbuster and Lady Vic for Nightwing. Yeah. Yeah, I think one obscure or something that maybe diehards would know but not other people would know, that would be fine. Do you think the Knights will visit Arkham Asylum in the game? I'm pretty sure they confirmed Blackgate. I could see like an Easter egg for Asylum. I don't know if they'd actually... Is that where... where's Harley held? Isn't Harley held at one of them? So, that one you go to, I imagine, right? If that was Blackgate. If you go to one, I can't imagine you go to both. So maybe they mention the other one, you know what I mean? But you just wouldn't go to see both of them. Vehicle customization, none that we've seen, right? I don't think anybody's mentioned it. And an important thing to probably note, right, is at this point, if certain things haven't been mentioned, then they're probably, you know what I mean? They're probably not in the game, or they're not a big focus, or, whatever the situation may be. But that's something to probably consider. You can customize the color. There you go. 31 colors. Nice. There you go, then. I mean, the photo mode thing was just dropped on us. Up until, I believe, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, up until today, we didn't know if they had photo mode, and then it was confirmed with the stuff that came out today. So some of these things just literally dropped out of nowhere, But like I said, that's why today was a huge day. Like, it gave us a lot of information for the game that, would have taken them a long time to put out in Twitter posts, and we just got all of it with this preview stuff. So very cool. Very cool that we actually got it. And we learned a lot. And really, and to be honest with you, I think the majority of us had already made up their mind if they were going to get it or not get it or liked it or whatever already, like before today. I really don't think, well, maybe, because maybe some people thought it looked like really bad and today kind of surprised them that it looked better. But I'd say, and maybe I'm wrong, I'd say overwhelmingly, I think people had already made up their mind on this game. But it is cool to see like this wave of. But here's the thing: like normally, I feel like you would get this earlier than 2 weeks before, right? I mean, the game comes out in 2 weeks, so normally I think you would get a lot of this stuff a little while ago, and then you'd have a period of silence, and then the game comes out. Whereas this game, we get all this information, and then in 2 weeks, we would like. So the game, have we figured it out yet? Like the game does come out early for some people. Like the 19th, people will be playing it, some people. So reviews may be out like the 18th or 17th, right? And so within another less than 2 weeks, we'll have reviews for it. And then in 2 weeks, people will be playing it. So it's a very quick turnaround from, you know what I mean? A very quick turnaround from the previews to the actual game coming out, which is, I would say, pretty different than what we normally get. Big Spawn, thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. I try. I try. I've leaned into the Gotham Knights stuff. I've had a lot of fun doing it. Basically, I didn't plan on, like, for the last week and a half almost, I think I've had a Gotham Knights video pretty much every day, and I didn't really plan that. I expect when the game comes out, I'll have a Gotham Knights video every day for probably like 2 or so weeks. I assume Gotham Knights stuff will slow down on the channel when God of War Ragnarok stuff really picks up. I think they'll kind of hand it off to each other. But I didn't really expect to make videos as much as I am now, because I don't like to burn out on it. I don't like people to think that I'm milking it, because I'm not, but people will say it because I make 3 videos a day, and you can have that thought. But I've tried to do, I've had guests on. I've done like final predictions on things. We've talked about some different elements of it. One idea we haven't done yet. A video will go up probably this weekend. So I've tried to like keep it kind of cool, and it's been a while since I've done this. I think for Scream was the last time I did so many videos leading into it, and we just kind of talked about different elements of it. And I don't really think I've done it beyond Scream this entire year. I didn't do it for Horizon, and this year's been quiet. God of War, I want to. God of War, I got a lot of theories in my head that I want to do some videos on, so maybe there'll be like a week or two where there's just a God of War video every day. And that's what you can do when you do more than one video a day, right? If you're other people, obviously, that doesn't happen. Oh, and the Gotham Knights, the Q&A thing is next week, a week today, isn't it? So that should be interesting. Even, like a lot of the stuff is answered now, so I don't really know if that was a smart idea, for them to do that. A lot of people were asking about ray tracing and photo mode on the Discord. Yeah, right? And I said my comment before I saw your comment. I honestly, the Q&A is kind of stupid to do afterwards, because I think a lot of things that we got in the previews answer probably a lot of the Q&A stuff. So yeah, I have to give it a chance. It looks better than Marvel's Avengers. It does. The combat is concerning. Yeah, to an okay extent, I think it is. I think they must be confident. I don't know. I don't know if it screams confidence what they've done. I don't think it screams like they're terrified, but I don't know if I would say they're very confident. We'll see when reviews go up. That'll be how confident they are. I think the combat will be steady. I'm not expecting groundbreaking stuff, but I think it'll stand out just enough. Yeah, and if it does, that's, I think, fine. Hello. How do you say your name? Cypex? Cypex Streams? Hello. Hey, guys, guess what? What? Alex, you do what you want. Don't pay attention to them. We still love the videos you make. Thanks, buddy. Thanks, Philip. Yeah, I like to do it. It's been a while since I'm Batman. That's funny. I kind of thought you would say that. Yeah, I like the way I do stuff. I think, if you've been around the channel for a while, you may not have seen this kind of era yet, because I haven't done it in a little while. Or I guess if you just joined the channel, say in the last year, you may not know that this is kind of how I do things, but I'm happy to be doing it again, where I cover everything, as much, I even break things. I cover everything as much as I can, and when there's the things I super care about, I really go hard on those things. Like Gotham Knights, you've seen, I've done a lot of videos recently, and it's not going to stop until a couple weeks after the game is out. God of War will be the same thing. And then like games like Callisto Protocol or Marvel's Midnight Suns, I'll cover a good amount, but not like insane. And then, for like Scream, I've covered that a lot. Hogwarts Legacy, I'll probably be pumping those videos out. Like, that's just the way that I like to do it, while also doing other stuff. Like today, today was a little heavy on this stuff, right? Gotham Knights video, Hogwarts video, and then Gotham Knights live stream. But there wasn't a lot of news. Like tomorrow's Need for Speed, so that's a little bit different. But yeah, I like to focus hard on stuff while also trying to have some variety. So if you're on my channel but you don't like Gotham Knights, you can still watch other videos that I put up every day. It's not like you have to wait a week to watch another video from me. You can watch it the same day. And that's what I like to do. Uncaged Games said there were a large number of developers in the room while they were playing, so I'm not sure about confidence, but he said you could feel their passion for the game. Yeah. Yeah, and it's something I don't know when I've said it, but I know I did say it. I've never I guess I've never, or I do not question the passion of these guys. They may not be the most gifted, talented team ever assembled on the face of the earth, but I do sense, and I think you can sense the way how they talk. You can kind of sense that they care quite a bit. Even if the game has flaws and even if the game isn't that great, I still think they really try. Like this is an example of a game from a studio that I think they're really trying. They really are trying, and no matter how the game comes out, they really did try. Now, if the game's bad, that is a talent, I would say, and I would take, and that's a heavy punch to throw out there, right? But I would say, like, if this game is downright bad, I don't question the passion. I would question the talent of the people of the team. And it's not that hard to question the talent based off of what's happened the last couple years, or not even last 9 years with that studio, right? But that's something I've always kind of thought of them. If there's ever an issue with them, it could just be skill level, but maybe not. Maybe they are very skilled. But I don't question that they care. They definitely care. Even the things that, like the Batman's dead. Do I think it's stupid they keep saying it as many times as they did? Yeah. But I think there's like a reason, like a passion behind why they keep doing these things. So, will there be police in-game to intervene or help? I'm curious how lively Gotham really is. Somebody said there's police and you can even fight them. So there is definitely police. Oh, well, there you go. Beast of Darkness said, I saw Batgirl fighting police in the street. And now I don't know, because I think Patrick Redding even said that the police start by not liking you, but then they'll like you more and more as the game goes on. So I wonder if you fight them in the beginning, and as the game goes on, you won't fight them anymore. Or they're corrupt cops. Yeah, like Philip said, most likely they're corrupt cops. Possible. Although, like I said, I mean, the storyline is they don't really trust you, and they don't really like you, but then they like you more and more. But also part of the storyline is there is a lot of corruption, and that's why, like, Montoya is working with you because she is not corrupt like them. So, yeah. I really think Black Mask should get his time to shine. He was pushed to the side and then killed off in the Arkham games. And I think, yeah. That's true. This is and an argument I've always made is it's no matter if they've been used multiple times or not, it's a completely new field, right? Because they are not in this universe. So you could do Joker again, even though you've had Joker for so many games. It's a new Joker. It really is. It's a new Harley. So, do you need characters that have been in it like 4, 5, 6 times for some of these? Not 4. You can only go up to 4, right? Because there's only been 4 Arkham games, but 2, 3, 4 times. But, yeah, even if you do a character that's been 4 of them, it's still a different world. So as long as they make them different, and this is actually a case where you can make them different, right? So often, maybe we get upset at developers for changing things or rewriting or, adding layers to characters that didn't exist or whatever. But in this case, you want them to change not like their entire thing, right? But you can change, especially their look. You can make them a little bit different because this is a different, universe. So maybe it's like boosting friendship. Could be. Yep, could be. Montoya seemed a little agitated when Red Hood showed up to go find Harley at first. She could just be like low-key afraid of Red Hood, though. He is a bulking man. Hope Man-Bat/Woman Bat is in the game as well. Yep, I've seen like a Man-Bat kind of petition going around, for that stuff. All right, guys, I think we'll leave it here. I got to get going soon, no matter what anyway. So thank you for being here. This was fun. I just kind of came up with this idea a few hours ago and was like, yeah, let's do a live stream on it. But I appreciate the support. If you want to support further, we have a Patreon. We have a YouTube membership. It's $2 a month for the smaller tier. You get exclusive videos. So we got all that stuff. We got Twitter, my second YouTube channel, and all that. So more Gotham Knights videos as the next couple of weeks roll on, and then the game comes out. So we'll see how everything kind of falls together. I don't know if I'll do a stream on Friday on Gotham Knights, but I'll let you guys know on Twitter. That'll be the place to go. And we'll go from there, okay? Thank you all for being here. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, and on to review season for this game, because that's next up. All right?